Dai's very popular, eh?
You want to sleep with him already?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's not crazy. Oh shit!
Oh shit!
He's already like trashed in the corner.
Hi, Tokyo Tops. A lot of you guys have been asking us, are we watching the new Netflix show, Boyfriend? We actually just watched the show. We're gonna talk about what we think about the show and also about each cast. Let's go with the order how they enter the show, right?
Okay.
So the first one is
Dai. He instantly comes off as a little bit more charai, very forward, very honest about his feelings. That personality always grabs me.
He has a group of friends, like girlfriends, who is very understanding his situation as like, oh, what kind of guy you're into. Maybe that like, you know, he just automatically have more, has more confidence. I would say like his muscles like give me more plus points.
He hid an amazing body below his
oversized
Yeah,
shirt.
if you look at the other guys, you can kind of tell, I guess, from their arms and stuff like that.
Like
in
who
their
is
t-shirt.
slim and who is fit.
And so I was surprised. Like when I saw Taehan's body,
Yeah.
Beautiful body, but I'm not surprised because his clothes make him look
like just as I expected.
Yeah. Whereas Dai, I didn't know from his clothes that he was like hiding such a beautiful body.
Yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to say. It was like I didn't expect that he has a great body.
From the very start, he was not shy on saying who he thought was attractive. He was not shy about even being slightly sexual, right?
Like, 一緒に寝たい
yeah,
とか
一緒に寝たい and stuff like that. Yeah, and
already.
hiroi, karadai hiroi, and all that stuff. Like, whereas I don't think we really saw that from the other cast members. Dai from the start really stood out to me.
Second, I think walked in the house was Taeho. He is very hot. I think he's very handsome, but he kind of like fell into the background for me. Like I didn't feel like he stand out in the very first episode. You can see that he's very like caring and like a great leader to the group and like, you know, initiate the conversation. He's like a big brother kind of
big
role.
brother energy. Yeah, they just haven't given him that airtime, spotlight to really show us anything deeper. So right now it's very surface level. I guess I'm more curious to see if that develops. Like if we're at say episode 5 and 6 and it's still the same, then I think I would agree with that he's kind of like boring or doesn't have much personality beyond his hot looks. But I think it's too early to really make that judgment.
Next one I think is Gense, right? The Taiwanese guy. He also like in the background for me.
Yeah, he faded a bit into the background.
Nothing good, nothing bad because he didn't do much in the first episode, I feel.
Yeah, we have nothing to say.
Next will be Shun.
I
I mean, the moment he walked in the room, I was like, oh my god, this guy's
stars in his eyes.
So handsome, like literally looking like a model. I feel like
we forgot about Ryota.
Oh, Ryota. Wait, was Ryota number 3 before?
I think Ryota.
Sorry, let's go way back.
You liked him when he walked in.
Ryota is the face I like.
Yeah.
Like he's a fashion model, right?
Yeah.
It fits like he's kind of like mysterious vibe and a little bit different, like unique look as well. You don't like that.
Well, the thing is it's the moody vibe that I think you like, but I don't like the moody vibe. Ryota seems to have the type of personality where he's like guarded because of certain things that may have happened in his past or whatever that, you know, made him the way he is. And as the story develops, we'll learn probably what that is and we'll feel sympathetic for it as viewers. But first impressions, when I meet people like that, is that when they come in and moody, it just seems like they have a wall up in front of them. And regardless of how much I want to have compassion for that, it's still a turnoff for me.
You feel like it's very standoffish.
It's very standoffish, and I think it wrecks the atmosphere. Compare that to someone who's like Dai, who comes in and who's all like, even at the end of the episode, oh my god, this is right who we like and all this stuff. Like he's, you know, as we would say in Japanese, you say like mudomeka. They have that word because it changes the atmosphere. And then you have someone, I guess in English we'd say like party pooper. That would probably be someone like...
So you think Ryota is a party
has more
pooper?
of that energy. That's always my struggle with people who come in and moody because
he was just not moody. He was just like not very like, he's just shy and...
So it could be shy.
Yeah.
He could be shy.
Yeah.
But his face was very, you know, and maybe someone would say like resting bitch face. We have this kind of image very often in like Western culture where it's like often, this is a generalization, but often like women who like the struggling artist. the like emo upset artist or whatever, and is always making music about how life sucks, and women are like, oh my god, right? That's
he has that vibe.
Yes, he has that vibe.
Anyway, so let's talk about Shun. This guy is so handsome. Like when he walked in the room, I'm like, I won't say like he's very gay handsome, but just in general, like that's the beauty standard. I feel like Japanese people.
I will say that's the beauty standard. I'm pausing now because I'm not entirely sure whether he's entirely the favorite type within the gay community. His face is liked in the gay community, but I'm not necessarily, I don't think it's like the top.
But I feel like this kind of face is rare to encounter. Like if he like really stand in front of you, you probably think, wow, this guy's really handsome.
He is handsome, he is beautiful,
Like
and I agree with you that he is the straight
like girls would be crazy
ideal.
About him.
Girls would be very crazy about him. There's everything that's very soft and beautiful, yet managed it so it's boyish, but then also a man. It's that beautiful sort of like in between. I'm sure a lot of the female viewers watching this show as well is probably going to think he's one of the most handsome.
But on the contrary, like I'm excited to see how the story unfold because he seems like have very low self-esteem, you know? I always see people like they're so beautiful and they're unsure about themselves. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Some people actually get attracted to that because the other option is someone can be entirely beautiful and they know it. And then they come off as maybe arrogant or something like that.
But I feel like I'm more attracted to that.
I see.
Compared to I see something beautiful, like, but they're struggling at that.
I think I'm more attracted to people who, I don't like the arrogance.
But okay, you like someone who's beautiful, but they don't know about it.
Yes.
Not like someone who's beautiful always say like, oh, I'm not attractive.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna like me.
I mean, that's not
like super.
Yeah.
But he's that kind of people.
I'm not saying
you know?
I'm not saying I like Shun.
Next one is Kazuto, I believe. In terms of like look, like he's my number one. Very like handsome, but also shy and kawaii. I like guys with a little bit cuteness, by the way.
You do.
I don't think he was in the show a lot. Like he was basically when he was on the screen, he was cooking.
I think the show is making him out to be the shikari shiteru hito. He's up early,
and cooking breakfast for everyone.
This and that. He's so young, but he's so accomplished and mature. And I think that is attractive, and I think that'll be attractive to some of the other people in the cast. That'll be his story.
And also, like, I'm very surprised that he didn't get the most letters. I thought he was gonna be one of the people getting most letters, but he actually ended up only getting one. But Dai got like the most. But I can see why people are attracted to Dai. Like he's very like bubbly and very like happy. But I would say like Kazuto gives me that like GV down, you know?
Yeah.
The type of face that Japanese gays love. Like devour, you know?
Thinking about going forward, what do you think are the things that are going to happen?
Oh, there's one more contestant.
Yusaku. See, so if we're getting back to archetypes that are super popular in the gay community, that's why I didn't want to say entirely Shun. I think Shun's up there, but I think Yusaku is also very much the archetype that is popular in the gay community.
Okay, again, like I'm not sure because I feel that's our generation, like older millennial. I feel like Gen Z's tastes are kind of different.
Well, I guess we'll see because a lot of them are Gen Z, and we're going to see how they interact with Yusaku going forward. We've talked about him a lot of time on the channel. It's very much short hair and then mustache and beard, nice body. But I understand what you're saying. Like maybe there is that element to it. Like maybe it is a generational thing, and maybe that's why I think it's a like I'm saying the archetype because I'm the older generation. But everyone around me, I think everyone around fucking watching this video right now, who's our friends, pretty much everyone's going to agree that Yusaku is beautiful and fucking hot as shit.
But they also say like Yusaku is like 手が届かないところにいるから like so they probably will go in with that barrier that he's like too good for everyone.
Good, out of my league.
And also like we know Yusaku. I mean we don't know him, but we have met him.
We've met him many times.
A couple times. He's very calm and shy.
Yeah, he's not arrogant in your face, dismissive. He's actually just very calm and soft, and I would even say at times shy.
So I'm very excited to see how he does on the show because I came watching the show like thinking that like, oh my god, he's such a big star in the gay Japanese community.
Yes, he is.
And do people feel like intimidated by him? You know?
I mean, I would be intimidated by him.
I mean, we also
are intimidated. We are intimidated. I am intimidated by it because it's like being around
we gotta put in a clip So let's talk about our prediction. So I don't think everyone's gonna get a match. Like other reality TV show, there are some just end up with being only just friends or being rejected, or people who don't feel like they're connected with anyone. I actually feel Yusaku will end up with that ending.
What ending?
Not able to make any.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's gonna make a romantic connection either.
Why is that?
I question whether that's actually what he's looking for.
You think it's fake? Like he's going on the show to promote himself?
Well, a lot of...
I mean, it is. I mean, yeah.
That is
that's
what...
everyone.
That's what, yes. Yeah. We can't say that, love is blind, they're just trying to find love. No, we know that everyone has an agenda.
That's fine. Okay, let's put that aside because we are not like criticizing what reality TV show is. See, like I have this such big prejudice against Go-Go Boys is that they're usually not like emotionally available. I feel like it's harder for them because they have seen so much. They're constantly surrounded by gay people and like really hot gay people as well. I know like a couple of our Go-Go Boy friends, they do have relationship, but I feel like most of the Go-Go Boys are single and beautiful and crazily beautiful and single. They love themselves more than other people.
Well, or I think people in the YouTube scene is the same, is that there is a craving for love and attention. Even though they are getting attention, they are being loved, everyone is saying they're amazing, do they feel that about themselves enough to open up and go into a genuinely deep relationship?
So my another prediction.
So what about Taehyun? Because I feel like Taehyun is a go-go boy.
If he's a go-go boy, he's not gonna end up with anyone. I can't see anything about Taehyun right now. Like I feel we don't have much information to judge. Who do you want to see together? Dai and Shun.
That's the story they're pushing.
Yes.
So I'm sure that they will push that narrative quite forward and I will be cheering for them. I can't see, there's no chemistry between anyone yet, really.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the first episode.
It's the first episode, so I'm not really seeing, so that'll be more my thing, is to see like how chemistry develops. Shun and Kazuto could work too, actually.
No.
You don't think so? Why?
I can't see them together, like visually. I kind of feel like it's not the same genre. It's weird to see them together, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's because we're stuck in this idea. Even they said on Netflix, right? Even that guy said that in the gay community, people only date and only like, or there's this image who are similar in look. And maybe we're already being affected by that as well.
Yeah.
And that's why probably I'm thinking Yusak Taehyun.
We're programmed to think that way.
I know this is only the first episode, but do you feel that this show and the episode you've seen is representative of the gay scene that you feel or see in Tokyo?
That's a good question because I feel like I don't see everything. I feel there is a community was not accessible for me. You have to have like a certain look where have some like certain connections to get into. The closest one is Yusaku, right? Like we literally met him in person before and we see him dancing in Chome or at the club. So he is visible to us. But where do you meet like a beautiful handsome guy like Shun? Yeah, so I feel like there is a huge number of people in the gay community that is only accessible if you're Japanese.
You're Japanese.
So I want to talk about the show a little bit. Apparently it is, the producer is also another like YouTuber and he's like a fashion model.
Yes.
I mean, he scouted those people, so it's probably in his radar.
That's true.
That, people are in fashion and design. And we have so many designers, right?
True, that's true. But then they also put out a call. Remember the call came out, the casting?
I sent that to you.
Yeah.
I was like, do you want to apply? Why didn't you apply?
Honestly, I look at that and I think they don't want someone like me.
You sound like Shun.
Partly from a look point of view, if I'm looking at age as well. Personality, again, I'm probably not going to be as pure and like, but then I also think of like, who's watching this? Women who are probably looking at guys like Shun as like the stuff like that. So I get in my head but I still believe it that they are not looking for people like me. To be entirely honest, I didn't want to watch this show. When I watch stuff like Love is Blind or all these other reality shows, I know it's all fake, but I can lie to myself because I'm not actually part of that community.
Yeah.
It is entirely entertainment to me. It doesn't matter whether it's real or not. When I saw this, I feel like it's going to be packaged in a way that's going, like all reality shows, that give an image that is like just not real and probably more rose-colored than it actually is. They're probably going to be kissing. There's probably going to be all this stuff. There's all this stuff that's going to be on the show that's not real. In the sense, like, how often do you see guys kiss out in public? Never.
No, I do.
Never.
Like, I do. I personally do.
Sure, it's not so common, but they're gonna push that narrative on the story to have your kiss scene, have blah blah blah.
So
I'm gonna watch that and be like, that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna be with your boyfriend here on the beach or whatever and then have a beautiful kiss. But having said that, I was surprised that I didn't feel so much like that in the first episode.
okay.
Gay people like having beautiful love stories and hanging out in friendships and all that stuff, like even if at the end of the day I don't feel like that is what I see in my daily life, if it's a positive, well, we'll see. But if it's a positive representation, I think that that's going to be great for the wider audience and the wider belief in Japan and people becoming more accepting of LGBTQ+. So I see the positives of it, but that's just the difficulty of my own negativity, my own shunness coming into it, being like, is this actually going to be an accurate representation?
Okay, I have a huge misunderstanding. Angel's like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to watch this this show or not. I literally thought like because you couldn't handle the fact that Yusaku has a chance to be with another person,
Yusaku,
you'd be like, oh, my favorite Yusaku.
Yusaku's beautiful.
Stolen by someone else.
Stolen, and then I'll find their Instagram and then let's get away from my man. I think these shows also bring up, maybe triggering is a bit extreme, but they bring up feelings. Shun and Dai might have a love story, and I might watch it and be like, I wish I had that.
Yeah, but lots of people after watching the show, I understand what you say, but they say like, 恋愛したくなっちゃった. Maybe it can be a positive push. You'd be like,
no, because
I mean, this year you're entering this era that you're like, I'm not looking for a boyfriend. But maybe after watching this show, you have a little bit more motivation of like going out and dating, being like finding your, you know what I mean?
But that also means gets back to where we were talking about before, is like, how is it an accurate representation? Are we going to be able to have a dating experience like on the show? And how are we going to meet these people? Where are we going to find the Kazuto, the Shun, this and that, right? And do they want to date me? Is another thing,
you're
right?
You're Shunness. So that's our first impression of the show. And we're gonna finish the show because we only upload once in 2 weeks, right? So it's impossible for us to react to every single episode because we do want to create other fun content for you guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch the last episode together again when it's released and see if our prediction was correct.
We will see you next time.
We'll see you on the final episode.
On the final episode.
Yeah, and to see Shun and Dai together.
Together.